Howdy, YouTubers. I wanted to, that tune right there, most of you know, that's a kick on Heart Over Mind. It's Mel Tillis' hit. And that particular kick is in F, which is a story in itself I'll get to later. It's no big deal, but everybody does it in G except a feller from Texas named Tony Booth. He does it in F. A lot of fiddle players hate F, but that's another story. I'm going to relate to you a story. You know, many things I've done, music has been the mainstay. That's what I have done for a living. I played music for a living for just a little over 50 years. It wasn't a good living, but it put clothes and food on the table for the kids. But one of the things I did other than music was I was a policeman for a while. I was a policeman for maybe a total of 7 years in different departments. And I wanted to, how it used to be. One night, me and this other policeman was on patrol, and there was a guy, we seen a car that was just absolutely going crazy, just round in corners and barely making it, just almost on two wheels. And we thought, whoa, there must be something wrong. Well, we finally stopped the car, and it was nothing wrong. It was just a young man who, defying authority, all we wanted to do was say, hey, you know, slow it down. You're not going to drive this way in this town. Well, he kept becoming, the longer we talked, the more irate he become. And he finally got to the point that he insisted that we arrest him. And we said, we don't want to arrest you. Just drive differently or go home. You're not going to be this way in our town. Why don't you just lock me up if I've done something wrong? He kept saying, why don't you just lock me up? And pretty soon the police officer with me said, turn around and put your hands behind you. And Betty, he put cuffs on him. And we took him to jail. And we walked him in to a cell that already had two winos, two drunks was in this cell. And there was only one bunk, and both them old drunks was tucked up against each other asleep, trying to sober up. And there was roaches in that cell. I'll bet you those roaches were 2 and 3 inches long, just crawling all over those drunks, and the winos laying there. And this young man said, where am I going to sleep? And they said, we don't, and the policeman with me said, I don't care where you sleep. And we shut those lights off in that cell block, or that area that we had the cells in. And when that light went off, it was darker than a cow's belly. I'm telling you, it was cold, black, dark. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And as we closed the door, we heard him say, I've got rights, I've got rights. And the policeman with me said, in this jail, you have no rights. And we closed the door, and we never went back to check on him until the next morning, and we let him out. We never saw that young man again. He never came back to that town again. And I suppose we could say, well, I'm sure glad times are different now, because that was rough times back then, and there were people were treated rough. But I sometimes wonder, he was taught a lesson that I'll bet you if he lived to be 150, he'll never forget. And I wonder if sometimes we hadn't ought to dish out a little bit occasionally. Oh, I know I'm going to get a lot of negative remarks about that. Hey, that's just old hillbilly's opinion. It's mine. You can have yours. See you later.